So, we're live. Mag-exercise tayo. Then, pag-usapan natin ang about the art and law of self-defense. Kailan nga ba dapat gamitin yung kaalamang self-defense o yung pagtatanggol sa ating sarili? Iba yung marunong ka sa self-defense, yung art, at iba rin yung alam mo yung batas sa self-defense. So dapat i-harmonize natin yung dalawa. Marunong ka sa self-defense, pero dapat sundin mo pa rin yung itinitadhana ng batas regarding self-defense. Sa ating revised penal code, meron tayong tinatawag na justifying circumstances. Ito yung makagawa ka ng felony o crime na hindi ka paparusahan ng batas. Accepted ka sa criminal liability. So kahit gaano ka kagaling sa art of self-defense, kung hindi ka marunong sa batas ng self-defense, baliwala. Yang kakayahan mo sa self-defense o yung kaalaman mo sa self-defense, yan ang magpapakulong sa'yo. Pero kung marunong ka sa art ng self-defense habang sinusunod mo yung itinatadhan ng batas regarding self-defense, yun ang maganda. Mahina ang signal. Primarily, ang ginagamit sa self-defense ay ang kamay at ang mga paa. So naturally, ang tao talagang may innate self-defense instinct na yan. Pag sampalin mo ang tao, didepensa agad yan. But, yung self-defense kasi, pinag-aralan yan. Nagkaroon ng art, kaya nagkaroon ng iba't ibang branches of self-defense. May taekwondo, judo, aikido. So, yan ay binase nila sa kanilang pag-aaral. So ngayon, paano mo gagamitin ng self-defense? Halimbawa, isang pulis, pagiging isang pulis. How to enforce the law using effective self-defense technique. You have that skill, but you must have that knowledge in law. Okay. Pag-usapan muna natin yung batas ng self-defense. May tatlong requisite ang self-defense under Article 11 sa justifying circumstances. Una, yung tinatawag na there must be unlawful aggression. Dapat, yung unlawful aggression na yan is nanggagaling dun sa biktima. Dun sa taong aatake sa atin. At because of that unlawful aggression, malalagay yung ating buhay sa panganib. Okay, so kailangan nating depensahan. So maraming naka-enumerate doon sa justifying circumstances. Self-defense, defense of a stranger, defense of relatives, lawful performance of duty, obedience to a lawful order. So yun yung mga enumerated justifying circumstances. Ngayon sa self-defense, ang pinakaunang requisite niyan ay yung tinatawag na unlawful aggression. That unlawful aggression must come from the person attacking the defender. So, doon manggagaling yan. At yung unlawful aggression na yan should be an overt act. Ibig sabihin, talagang may danger sa buhay ng inaatake at dumedepensa. So, ang kailangan gagawin ng dedepensa is ensure na masubdue yung opponent at hindi ma-endanger yung buhay niya. Okay. That is self-preservation. Natural sa tao ang self-preservation. Ganon din sa pulis. Bago ka pa masaktan o bago ka mapapatay ng isang suspect, kailangan ma-neutralize mo siya. If not, kung kailangan mapatay mo siya. Okay? Yun yung unang requisite ng self-defense. Unlawful aggression that must come from the attacker. Okay. Number 2 requisite, yung tinatawag na reasonable necessity to prevent or repel that unlawful aggression. So dapat yung tao na dumidepensa sa kanyang sarili, ang ginamit niya is reasonable necessity to prevent or repel that unlawful aggression. Tama lang. So hindi sa sumobra. Katapat lang nung ginagawa sa kanya at gagawin sa kanya ng attacker. So there must be unlawful aggression. Then next, there should be a reasonable necessity to prevent or repel that unlawful aggression. And the last, there should be lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person defending himself. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nag-provoke. The provocation must come from the attacker. So yun yung tatlo. Dapat present yan ng tatlo na yan. There must be unlawful aggression, reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel that unlawful aggression, and there should be lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person preventing himself. Pag sama-samahin mo yung tatlo na yan, yan tawag na justifying circumstances under self-defense or doctrine of self-defense. So dapat alam natin yan. Huwag nating kalilimutan yung requisites, elements of self-defense. Kasi mahalaga ang buhay ng tao. Okay. So kagaya na sinabi ko kanina, self-defense is both an art. It's both an art and a skill. But it must go along with the law. Okay. Sa self-defense, pwede natin gamitin yung iba't ibang bahagi ng ating katawan. But primarily, ang ginagamit, mga kamay. Okay? So maraming technique yan, maraming uri ng martial arts. Paa. Sa kamay, you can punch. Okay? Sa paa, you can kick. Pwede mong gamitin, iba't ibang klase ng kick. Low kick. Okay? Then, high kick. That's it. It takes practice. Hindi bigla ng pag-aral ng self-defense. And it takes discipline. So dapat, malakas ang iyong kamay, ang iyong katawan, kaya mong execute yung different moves. Okay. For me, ang pinag-aralan ko is Taekwondo at Karate Do. So, a different branch of martial arts. But kahit anong branch of martial arts yan, depende sa gumagamit yan. Okay. So that's it. So ulitin ko, pagsabayin natin yung batas at saka yung art. The art and law of self-defense. Sa self-defense, huwag mong antayin na saktan ka ng iyong kalaban. The moment na nagpakita siya ng act, ng overt act, may roong ka ng karapatan na depensahan mo sa iyong sarili. Oras na kumilos siya ng any overt act, ibig sabihin ng overt act, any physical act na alam mo na pag natuloy yun, pwede mong ikamatay or ikasugat or pwede ka ma-injure. So dapat unahan mo na siya. Don't give your attacker the opportunity to hurt you. Kasi pag natamaan ka ng vital attack, kawawa ka. You cannot recover. So dapat gawin mo, atake pa lang, atakehin mo na siya. Pero sabi nga, it must be reasonable. Okay. Reasonable yung means mo to defend yourself. So primarily, sa self-defense, dapat palakasin natin ang ating mga kamay. Yan. Yung continuous punching every day, yung muscle ng ating kamay, lalakas yan. May kakaroon ng inner strength. Praktisin lang ninyo. Iba't ibang suntok. Palakasin yan. Okay. Kasi pag mahina ang kamay mo, it's useless. Okay. Sa paa, kailan palaksin din ang paa. Yan. Strong fit. Dapat yung endurance malakas din, kaya dapat mag-jogging. Then dapat maliksik. So dapat mayroon kang coordination of your body. That is self-defense. Then focus ka. Dapat may dibdib ka para magawa mo yung may i-execute mo yung skill mo. Pero kung nagkaroon ka ng takot, kakainin ka ng takot mo. Your fear will destroy you. Kaya pag sinabi mo, kaya kita, kaya kita. The only technique is, huwag kang mangunguna. Bayaan mo silang manguna. And if inunahan ka, give them. Don't give them the opportunity to hurt you. That's the real essence of self-defense. Huwag mong antayin na saktan ka. Dapat preemptive ka lagi. If they raise their hands, okay, raise your hands much higher than them. If they use a weapon, siguraduhin mo na yung weapon mo mas mataas kaysa weapon nila. Ganun lang yun. At never na magpapabuli ka sa tao. Kahit maliit ka lang, if you can stand with yourself at ipakita mo na wala kang ginagawang masama, that you have that courage and skill, lahat ng tao hindi ka pwedeng ibuli. That's the real art of self-defense. So we must harmonize the art and the law of self-defense. Okay, maybe you have that skill. Pero kung nagamit mo yung skill mo sa self-defense against the provision of the law, yung diniscuss ko kanina, yung tatlo, yung requisites of self-defense, unlawful aggression, reasonable necessity to prevent or repel that unlawful aggression, at saka yung lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person defending himself. Dapat lahat yun present, yung tatlong requisite na yun. If wala yung isang requisite, ang tawag doon, incomplete self-defense. You are not justified, but only mapupunta ka sa tinatawag na mitigating circumstances. Mapababa lang yung penalty mo, but still makukulong ka. Halimbawa, present lang yung unlawful aggression, saka yung reasonable necessity to prevent and repel that unlawful aggression. Pero nag-provoke ka. Ikaw ang naunang nag-provoke. Incomplete self-defense ang tawag doon. Under mitigating circumstances. Kukulong ka pa rin. Although, malulower yung penalty mo. Mamimitigate. Okay? So tandaan natin bilang mga pulis, marunong ka on the other side of self-defense, on the art, marunong ka on the part of the law. I-harmonize natin yung dalawa na yan para hindi tayo mapasubo. We can bully somebody. Sa totoo lang. Pero nasa tao yan. If you bully somebody just to correct them, that's good. But if you bully somebody para lang magpasikat, no. Ako, marami na akong binuli. Pero just to correct them, just to give them a lesson. Sa self-defense, hindi ito palakihan ng katawan. Sa self-defense, unang-una yan, discipline. You know how to attack, but you must have that control, the temperament to use your knowledge. Dahil mahirap makapatay, mahirap maka-injure, makakasuhan ka talaga. You may have used your knowledge in self-defense as a skill, but still you are liable on the other side, on the legal aspect. So dapat harmonize the legality and the art in self-defense. Okay. Sa self-defense, kailangan you have that number one, strength. Kahit gaano ka galing sa self-defense, if you don't have that strength physically, katawan, dapat malakas ka. So dapat continuous ang exercise, lahat palakasin mo. You must have that endurance. Malakas ka nga, pero madali ka namang mapagod. Hindi nakaka-endure, hindi mo kaya yung pagod. Nakailang suntok ka pa lang, hindi mo na kaya. Okay? So you must have the endurance. You must have that flexibility of action. Ibig sabihin, flexible ka. Kaya mong gamitin. Mabilis. You have that speed. So continuous practice, that speed. Dapat yan ang lagi nating pinapractice. And maintain yung body natin. O minsan talaga, lumalaki ang tiyan. But continuous exercise, kaya natin yan. Lalo sa mga pulis, napakasamang tignan ang pulis na masyadong may kalakihan ng katawan ng tiyan. Kasi hindi maganda pag nagsuot na uniforme. Okay? So dapat we must maintain. So kahit anong ginagawa natin, we can exercise. Kahit nakaupo tayo, pwede ka mag-exercise. Suntok-suntok ka lang. Yan. Yan, exercise. Inner strength yan. Pampalakas ng mga kamay. Okay. And in self-defense, you must know where to attack. Saan ka dapat aatake? On the vital points ng iyong kalaban. Vital points. Groin, okay, throat, eyes, temple, okay, ribs area, okay, shin. Pag ito natamaan, so dapat marunong ka tumingin. Saan ko ba dapat tatamaan ng aking kalaban? Okay. If your life is in danger, patamaan mo ang iyong kalaban dun sa most vital part na pwede mo siyang isubdue. Dahil pag ang tinamaan mo lang is yung mga to, o nga, nasuntok mo to, is still, they can retaliate at baka patayin ka, mamatay ka pa. But if, kung bigyan mo agad, kung saan mang vital part yan, at nanghina, neutralize, you have successfully used your knowledge in self-defense. Lalo sa pag-aaresto, in arresting. In arresting, hindi basta-basta yan. The principle in arresting somebody is to lessen his strength. Pahinain mo siya. Kasi mahirap mang-aresto ng isang taong mas malakas sa'yo. And if your life is in danger, kailangan siguraduhin mo, lalo na kung desidido yung inaaresto mo. If you draw your firearm, you must ready to shoot at any time na kailangan mo na siyang barilin. Kagaya ng nangyari sa isang pulis, sa isang quarantine checkpoint dyan sa Quezon City. For me, justified yung ginawa ng pulis ni Master Sergeant Florendo. That is a valid justifying circumstances. Lawful performance of duty. Self-defense. But still, siyempre, under our criminal justice system, pag may namatay na tao, kailangan talaga kasi, una-una, sasampahan ng kaso. But, yung unit niya has the discretion not to file against that police officer. Kung gusto nung pamilya, relatives, nung namatay na violator, na suspect, mag-file siya sa labas. But not the investigation unit of the PNP to file against that police officer. Let the relatives to file outside. They can get their own lawyer. But for me, if I am the head of that station, hindi ko in question. Because that is justified. There is imminent danger at that time on the lives of the police officers and of the bystanders. Nung akmang bubunot na si Corporal Ragos, that is a call time. Ang tawag doon, discretion na ng police. So magdi-decide siya. Kailangan ko na bang barin to? Call of his judgment as a law enforcement officer. The moment na nagpakita ng overt act yung tao, si Corporal Ragos, that's the indication that there was imminent danger on the lives of the police officer. Huwag mo nang antayin na makabunot ng baril. Besides, nagbigay na siya ng maraming warning. Ang warning na yon is enough. Hindi na kailangan ng mag-warning shot. Although nasa POP, Police Operational Procedure ng PNP. Pero kung makaka-endanger within the environment yung warning shot, hindi. The moment na winarningan ka ng pulis, dapa ka. Pag hindi ka susunod at nagpakita ka ng any other act, kagaya ng akmang pagbunot, they have the right to shoot you and to neutralize you. Tama yung ginawa ng Police Quezon City. That is local performance of his duty, and that is self-defense. Justified. For me, sa tingin ko. And sana huwag siyang filean ng kaso. Bayaan nila na outside sila mag-file ng kaso. Kasi kawawa yung pulis. Ginawa lang niya ang trabaho niya within the bounds of the law. At pag-file mo ng kaso, kawawa naman siya. Malaking damage ang magagawa sa kanya. So that is a risk sa atin, law enforcement officers. While performing your duty as a police officer, malalagay ka sa isang sitwasyon na kailangan mag-decide ka when to use your knowledge in self-defense at paano mo i-harmonize sa legal provisions ng ating batas. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng conflict between that, magaling ka sa part ng self-defense as a skill, but not on the legal part, sayang ang buhay mo. So that's it. Dapat self-defense bilang police, malakas ang katawan, may knowledge ka, then you also have that knowledge in law. So, wala bang question dyan? Those who are watching, you can ask question. I'm just using my time. Actually, I have a YouTube channel. Doon nagdi-discuss ako ng mga legal principles about law enforcement, about criminology. So, free lecture ako online, and I'm planning to have online session sa Facebook. It's an online question and answer, and we will discuss legal principles amongst us, you asking question, me answering it based on the provisions of the law. At saka yung reality
sa law enforcement. Magkaiba kasi kung minsan yung theory, yung by the book na nakasulat sa mga libro ng batas, at saka yung actual or yung reality sa duty at sa pagiging pulis. So dapat marunong ka on the law enforcement side, the reality side, at saka sa legal aspect. Pero sa ating criminal justice system kasi, lalong nangingibabaw kung anong nakasulat sa libro. So dapat ang pulis, marunong ka kung ano yung tinatadhana ng batas. Pwede mo nang laruin. Sabi nga natin sa law enforcement, you can break the rules, but you cannot break the law. Yung mga rules na yan, you can break it, but don't break the law. Kasi if you break the law, that is a crime, that is an offense, that is felony. But if only a rules has been broken, pero hindi ka naman nakabreak ng batas, kaya mong lusutan, but not the law. So, tandaan natin yon. Break the rules, but not the law. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.